Okay, very good afternoon to one and all. So once again, this is the second class of today. Okay, na? Question number, which chapter? Balance sheet. Page number? So up to now, you have clearly discussed about journal. What is the meaning of journal? Journal state is called as nothing but recording. Yes or no, ma? Recording. Where we need to record? We need to record in the book called as journal. Okay, na? How to record is called as a journal entry system. In order to write the journal entry system, we have discussed the double entry concept. Yes or no? Double entry system or single entry system? Double entry system. First we will write the debit account name. Next we will write the credit account name. Okay, now then after we have discussed clearly what ma ledger. The process of transferring from the journal to ledger is called as, okay, na? The process of recording in the journal is called as a journalization. Okay, now. So the process of recording the journal to the ledger is called as what ma? Posting. Is called as a posting. Now I am going to explain about the trial balance. Okay, now what is the meaning of trial balance? This is the third stage of accounting. We will call it as what ma? Summarizing. Recording, classifying and summarizing. Recording means journal, classifying means ledger, and then after what ma? Summarizing means trial balance. Just like a statement. It is just like a what ma? Statement. It is not an account. It is not an account. In this statement, we will show the what is the amount of debit balance and what is the amount of credit balance. If the debit balance, we will record on the debit side. If it is a credit balance, means we will record on the credit side. Okay, now. So just a side, but this is not an account. This is a statement. Okay. What ma here? Trial balance is a statement where all the ledger account balances will be recorded here. Okay, now. Which balances will be recorded? All the ledger account balances. So after the ledger only, after the preparation of ledger only, we can prepare the trial balance. Otherwise, we cannot prepare the trial balance. Next one, it is a link between the ledger and the financial statement. What is the meaning of financial statements, sir? As of now, final accounts. As of now, what ma? Final accounts. So what is the first step? Journal, ledger, trial balance and final accounts. So in between there will be a closing entries. In between what ma? Closing entries. The main objective of this trial balance is called as what ma? To check the double entry accounting system is satisfied or not, and to check the arithmetical accuracy of the all the ledgers. Okay, now arithmetical accuracy means the debit total must be equal to the credit total. Then only we, if the totals of debit total and a credit total is equal, then only we have followed the double entry system. Otherwise, there is a mistake. There is no mistake. There will be a errors. We will find out how to rectify that errors in the discussion of what which chapter? Rectification of errors. So, what is the main objective of the trial balance? To find out the arithmetical accuracy of the ledgers, and whether we have followed the double entry system or not is the main objective of the trial balance. Next, whether the debit balance in the ledger is equal to the credit balance or not. Okay, now debit balance is equal to credit balance or not, we have to check in that trial balance. If it is equal, there may be no errors and frauds. Okay, na? Debit balance is equal to credit balance means no errors and frauds. Otherwise, what ma? There may be errors and frauds in the financial, in the books of accounts. If it is not equal, there may be errors or fraud in the previous books of accounts. Nothing but what ma? Journal and ledgers. To identify the errors and frauds which involved in the previous books of accounts. What is the need for preparation of trial balance? First objective is called as arithmetical accuracy. Okay, now what is the meaning of arithmetical accuracy? All the debit balances must be equal to the credit balances, because we have followed the double entry system or single entry system. Because we have followed the double entry system. If it is equal means there is no errors and fraud. If it is not equal means there will be errors and fraud. Next one, to identify the errors and frauds. Okay, now whether it is equal means no errors, not equal means having the errors. In order to identify this one, we are going to prepare the trial balance. To avoid the delay in preparation of financial statements. How In the final accounts, we will record the total purchase or we will record the monthly purchase. We will record the total year purchases. And if you think from the point of view of sales, okay, now we need sales for year or for month, per year, okay, now so that we will prepare the ledgers per month or per annum, per month. Okay, now month wise we will do we will record the closing balance, opening balance, like that. Then what is the meaning of summary? Summarizing means the total month. For example, for the first month 1 lakh, for the second month 2 lakhs. In total we are having the 12 lakhs of the sales. The summary will be given in the trial balance. So it is useful to prepare the final accounts in a easier manner, in a difficult manner. Okay, now what I am saying is, ledgers will be prepared for the month wise. Okay, now trial balance will be prepared for the year wise. Okay, now total in the sales account, we will close the balance for the first month. How much amount? 1 lakh. Second month 2 lakhs. Like that overall sales is equal to 12 lakhs. It will be shown in the trial balance. That will be recorded in the final accounts also. So where the sound is getting? Voice they're getting okay, no problem, fine. Next, methods for the preparation of trial balance. How many methods are there, sir? There are 3 methods. First one is called as total method or gross method. Total method or gross method. Second one is called as net method or balancing method. Third method is called as what ma? Combination of gross and net method. So what is this one, sir? Total method means just we will do the totals. We are not going to balance it. Sir, what is the meaning, sir? For example, if you take a particular account of purchases, which account ma? Purchases. In debit side we are having the amount of 1,000 rupees. In credit side we are having the amount of 2,000 rupees. Just we will record the total, that's all. Debit side how much ma? 1,000. And credit side how much ma? 2,000. Like that we are recording. Okay, na? Debit side is 1,000 and credit side is 2,000. Okay, na? In that, if you here we will do balance or we will not do balance. We will not do balance. The same totals will be recorded in the trial balance also. That means in the trial balance we will record on the debit side and the amount also in the credit side. We are not going to do the balancing. What is the next method? Net method. The net method means nothing but what ma? Balancing method. Here we will do the balance. If you do the balance, which balance this one? Credit balance. Of rupees how much? 1,000. So directly we will record 1,000 rupees on which side ma? Credit side. So just a minute. Okay guys, did you get the point or not? Sir, total method means just we will do the total or balancing. Just we will do the total. Debit side total will be recorded on the debit side of trial balance and credit side total will be recorded on the credit side of the trial balance. In the net method means what ma? Balance method. Balance method means we will do the balancing of the each and every account. Okay, now if debit balance means we will record on the debit side, credit balance means we will record on the credit side. Then what is the meaning of combination of both? Combination of both means we will record the totals. Okay, now debit total will be recorded on the debit side, credit total will be recorded on the credit side, as well as balance amount also, as well as what ma? Balance. Both the combination. For example, we have discussed cash basis, accrual basis, and next one is called as what ma? Hybrid. Hybrid basis means we will follow both the cash basis and accrual basis. Here also what ma? Combination of both means both net method and gross method. Did you understanding or not? For example, I am going to discuss example for the gross method. Gross method means we will do balancing. We are not going to do the balance. We are not going to do the balance. Imagine this is an account called as purchase account. Which account ma? Purchase. In the debit side we are having the amount of 10,000 rupees. In the credit side we are having the amount of 20,000 rupees. Only we will record the just what ma? Totals. What is the debit total? 10,000. What is the credit total? 20,000. Then after this we are going to prepare the trial balance. So in the trial balance, imagine this is a statement format. Which format ma? Statement. So debit amount will be recorded on this side, credit amount will be recorded on the right hand side. So nothing but this is not a debit side and credit side, this is a debit amount and this is a credit amount. The side will not be there because this is a statement or account. This is a statement. Okay na, trial balance. Okay na guys. So purchase, what is the debit amount? 10,000 will be recorded on a debit side or credit side? Debit column or credit column? Debit column 10,000, and here how much ma? 20,000 will be recorded on the credit side. If you record like this, means this approach is called as a gross approach and net approach. Gross approach. What is the meaning of net approach, sir? Net approach means we will do the balancing. If you do the balance, means we will have to record which amount, highest amount on the totals. Which amount ma? Highest amount. Next, what is the difference amount? 10,000. Should be recorded on the lowest side or highest side? Lowest side. What is the lowest side? Debit side. So here we will, what is the balance we will get? Debit balance or credit balance? Credit balance. So to balance carried on, by balance brought down. Then we will record on which side ma? We are going to record on the credit side. Only how much amount we will record? 10,000. If you record like this, means this approach is called as what ma? Net method. Net method or balance method. If you record both the items means debit side total, credit side total, as well as the balance amount. If you record like this, means this method is called as a combination of both net method and gross method. Okay now guys. So these are the methods. Now which method we need to follow, sir? We are going to follow the balance method. We are going to follow the balance. Balance means what ma? Net method only we have to follow, because for each and every account we need to do the balancing, so that we are going to follow only the balance method. Okay na. Next one. So there is a clear explanation under the in the book also. What is the total method, sir? Under this method, the total of the debit record and the credit record in every ledger account need to be considered for the preparation of trial balance statement. Okay na. Total of the debit and total of the credit will be considered or will not be considered? Will be considered for the preparation of trial balance. Debit total in the ledger recognized in the debit side of the trial balance. Credit total will be recognized in the credit side of the trial balance. Okay na. Did you get the point now? Yes. Next, net method means what ma? Under this method, all the debit balance and credit balances in the ledger should be considered. Balances are total. Balances. Okay na. Here the word is called as what ma? In this, the word is used that what ma? Totals. Total of debit record and credit record. Debit record, credit record means debit side and credit side. But here the word is used what ma? Balances. Debit balance, credit balance. Then that means we need to balance the ledgers. So debit balance will be recorded in. Debit balance in the ledger account should be considered in the debit side of the trial balance, and the credit balance in the ledger account should be considered in the credit side of the trial balance. Okay na guys. So like that we need to record. Please ignore this one. Please ignore this one. Okay na. Debit side total will be recorded on the debit side. Credit side total will be recorded on the credit side. Combination of both means what ma? Combination of gross and net method means. What is this method? Under this method, the debit total and the credit total should be considered along with the debit balance or credit balance of such ledger account. So here, instead of side, what we need to record ma? Credit. Along with the debit or credit balance of such ledger accounts. Instead of side, please modify it as what ma? Credit. These are the three methods. Okay na. In order to transfer of ledgers to the trial balance. 3 methods. What are the 3 methods ma? Once again, totals method, net method and combination of both. Next one what ma? Format. Next one what ma? Format. What is the meaning of format, sir? Format means how to prepare the trial balance. We are having the two formats. First one is called as what ma? T-shaped format. T-shaped format or statement format. How many formats are there? T-shaped format or statement format. So how the T-shaped format will be there? T-shaped format means trial balance of the name of organization as on the date of preparation. We have to put the heading. Okay na? So particulars LF amount rupees, particulars LF amount rupees. This amount rupees is called as debit amount rupees. This amount rupees is called as credit amounts rupees. So this is a statement of T-shape. T-shaped format. T-shaped means particulars LF and debit amount. Next one is called as what ma? Particulars LF and credit amount. Next one, which shaped format? Statement format. What is the meaning of statements, sir? Statements means only one particular column, only one LF column will be there. Only one particular column and only one LF column will be there. So debit amount and credit amount will be recorded on the side by side. Like how it will be ma? Like journal. What is the journal format? Date, particulars, LF, like that. But here date should not be there. Okay na? Only particulars, LF, debit rupees, credit rupees. We should not put the words like to and by also, because this is an account. This is a statement. This is a statement, so that we should not put the words like what ma? To and by. Just we have to write the account name. For example, cash account balance we are going to record in the trial balance means how to record? Just cash account. Just what ma? Cash account. We should not record like what ma? To cash account, by cash account, like that, because it's just a statement. So next one, there are certain adjustments. So up to now we have discussed what ma? First one, methods. How to, methods means what ma? How to record in the trial balance. How many methods are there? 3 methods. Okay na? First one is called as total method. Next one, balance method. Total method is also called as gross method. Balance method is also called as net method. Next one, combination of both. Total method means just we will do the total of debit and total of credit of each and every account. We will record debit total on the debit side of the trial balance, credit total on the credit side of the trial balance. Next one is called as what ma? Net approach. Net approach means we will do the balancing. Debit balance will be recorded on the debit side. Credit balance will be recorded on the credit side. Next one is called as what ma? Combination. Okay now. Combination is the worst case. Yes or no ma? Why you are writing debit total, credit total, and again balancing once again? So no, not needed now. So now which method we need to follow? We need to follow the balance method, because we will balance the each and every account. Next one is called as what ma? Format. Format means how to prepare the trial balance. How to prepare ma? T-shaped. And next one is called as statement. So we will use the statement format. We'll use the which format ma? Statement. Particulars LF, debit rupees and credit rupees. So all the accounts will be recorded on the particulars column. What is the LF column? Because we are taking the balances from where? Ledgers or journals? Ledgers. So that they have given the ledger folio. Okay na? Reference number. Next, adjustments. So in one of the attempt, they asked us to prepare the trial balance also. They asked us to prepare what ma? Trial balance. Okay, now before going to preparation of trial balance, they will use certain adjustments. They will give what ma? Certain adjustments. By way of using that adjustments, we have to prepare what ma? Trial balance. I will show you after discussion of these adjustments. Okay na? How many marks they have given? 8 marks question. Okay na? I think so. Previous attempt 2024 na? 2023 June paper, I think so. 2023 June. In that they have asked us to prepare what ma? Trial balance. Okay now, so each and every point is useful for our examination, not in the CMA foundation, only in the CMA inter itself. Okay now guys, is there any doubts up to here ma? You are having any doubts or not having? Not having. Sir, now adjustment of the trial balance statement, nothing but if the debit side total is not equal to the credit side, then what we have to do ma? The balance should be transferred to the which account? Suspense account. Which account ma? Suspense. For example, debit side total we are having the 10,000, but the credit side total we are having only 7,000. What is the difference amount? 3,000. The difference amount is recorded on which side? Lowest side. Lowest side means credit side. Okay now, that 3,000 will be transferred to which account? Suspense account. What is the meaning of suspense, sir? we don't know the balance of 3,000, so that we are transferring to the suspense. A temporary account, a permanent account. A temporary account called as imaginary account. Called as what ma? Imaginary account. After rectification of errors, that account will be closed or will not be closed? Will be closed. So that concept only will be discussed here. Okay na guys? So if the suspense account is on the debit side, means is called as debit balance. If the suspense account is on the credit side, means is called as credit balance. Yes or no ma? For example, if any account is getting the debit balance, means where we have to record? We have to record on the debit side amount or credit side amount? Debit side amount. That means debit balance means debit side amount, credit balance means credit side amount. In the same way, suspense account is on the debit side, means suspense account will have which balance? Debit balance. Suspense account is on the credit balance, means suspense account will have the which balance? Credit balance. Okay na? Okay na guys? Did you get my point or not? Chiranjeevi. Okay na? See here. When the debit balance, just a minute. When a debit balance is in the trial balance statement is not equal to the credit balance. Equal or not equal? Not equal. Then trial balance needs to be adjusted or equalized by recording the account called as what ma? Suspense account in the lowest side of such statement. Okay na? Debit is more means credit side we will record the suspense account. Credit is more means debit side we will record the suspense account. Nature of the suspense account. It is an imaginary account. It is an imaginary account. Neither real account nor personal account nor nominal account right now. But in future it may be a personal account, real account or nominal account. Okay na? So at the time of creation of suspense account, it is not a personal account, not a real account, not a nominal account. But in future it may be a what ma? Personal account, real account or nominal account. This justification you will get in which chapter ma? Rectification of errors. I will discuss this concept. Okay na? Next, accounting treatment. If the suspense account recorded on the debit side means, if the suspense account record on the debit side means, we will consider it as an asset. We will consider it as what ma? Asset. Of the trial balance, this is disclosed under the asset side of the balance sheet. If the suspense account is on the credit side means, suspense account record on the credit side of the trial balance means, it should be disclosed under the liability side of the balance. Why sir? If it is recorded on debit side means it will have which balance? Debit balance. Okay na? We should carry forward to the next year. We should not carry forward to the next year. We should carry forward. Then only we can rectify. Otherwise we can rectify. We cannot rectify. Otherwise we cannot rectify. In order to carry forward the suspense account to the next year, we should transfer to the P&L account. We should transfer to the balance sheet. We should transfer to the balance sheet. Otherwise we cannot carry forward to the next year. Okay na? If you want to transfer to the P&L account, we should close the particular account because the P&L account is an account. Balance sheet is a statement. If you want to transfer to the just a balance sheet, we no need to close the particular account. Okay na? If we are transferring to the P&L account means we have to close the particular account and to transfer to the P&L account. Okay na? For closing of expenditure account, I will say the journal entry at which point of time? At the subsidiary books time. I will say the journal entry at the subsidiary books. Okay na? In the P&L account, expenditure, losses, incomes and gains will be there. Okay na? In order to transfer the expenditure from expenditure account to the P&L account, we need to pass the closing entry. We need to pass the closing entry. Otherwise, we cannot transfer easily to the one account to the another account. But here the balance sheet is an account or statement. It is just a statement, so that no need to pass any closing entries. No need to pass any closing entries, so that in order to carry forward to the next year, we need to transfer to the balance sheet, so that assets, debit balance means what ma? Asset, credit balance means what ma? Liability. Okay, are you getting my point or not? So here the suspense account will comes into the picture at which point of time? Equal or unequal? Unequal. You can, if the debit side is more, the suspense account will be on the credit side. If the credit side is more, the suspense account will be on the debit side. If it is a debit balance means will be recorded on the asset side of the balance sheet. If it is a credit balance means will be recorded in the liability side of the balance sheet. Okay, now please be here. Okay, now if you're getting a sleep, what you have to do? Write something in the concept book, or otherwise turn the notebook or rub book. Please do whatever sketches you want. Please do write. Okay, now or otherwise respond to me. Okay, now the sleep will not come into the picture. Okay, next one. Next one, adjustments. Next one is called as what ma? Adjustment. Before going to solve the question, now only I am discussing the adjustments. After discussing these adjustments, we can solve the questions given in our book. Okay, now guys. So till now, what we have discussed is small topic. Already we have learned in the CMA foundation itself. Just a trial balance. Okay, now in order to preparation of the trial balance, we are having the methods. How many methods are there? Respond. 3 methods. Okay, now because you are getting a sleep, so that I am asking the questions. Okay, now guys. So how many methods are there? 3 methods. Okay, now first method is called as totals method or gross method. Second method is called as net method or balance method. Okay, now third method is called as combination of both. What is the totals method? What is the total method? Debit side total will be recorded on the debit side column. Credit side total will be recorded in the credit amount column. Okay. Then what is the meaning of balance method? We will do the balances. If it is a debit balance means we'll be recording the debit side of the trial balance. If it is a credit balance means we'll be recording the credit side of the trial balance. So which approach we need to follow? We need to follow the balance approach. Next we are having the format. What is the meaning of format? How to prepare the trial balance? Two formats are there: statement format and T-shaped format. What we will follow? We can follow anything. Okay, now whatever your wish. Okay, now T-shaped means what ma? Particulars, LF, amount. Particulars, LF, amount. Okay, now left hand side we will record the debit amount. Right hand side we will record the credit amount. Next, here we should not use the words like what ma, to or by. We cannot. Because trial balance is a statement or an account. Statement. Okay, now next, what is the statement format? Particulars, LF, debit amount and credit amount. Like this we need to follow. If the debit is equal to the credit means no problem. If it is debit is not equal to the credit means then suspense account will come to the picture. Suspense account is a imaginary account. It's not a personal account, not a real account, not a nominal account. Okay, now. So if the suspense account is in the debit side means suspense account is having the debit balance. So in order to carry forward to the next year, we should transfer to the balance sheet asset side. If the suspense account is in the credit side means suspense account is having the credit balance. In order to carry forward to the next year, we need to transfer to the balance sheet liability side. So these are the topics we have discussed till now. Next, adjustment. What is the first adjustment, sir? Closing stock. What is the first adjustment, sir? Closing. What is the meaning of closing stock? We have made the purchases in the current year. Okay, now all the purchases we will sell, or some of the purchases will be remaining in the stock. The purchases which are remained at the end of the financial year or calendar year is called as a closing stock. It is an asset. Current asset or non-current asset? Current asset. The two liquid or non-liquid? Non-liquid asset. We have clearly discussed it at the initial topics. Okay, now terminologies we have discussed. Okay, closing stock should be recorded in the trial balance. Should not be recorded in the trial balance. This is the point. Okay, now what is the point, ma? At which point of time we need to record the closing stock in the trial balance? At which point of time we should not record the closing stock in the trial balance? The very interesting topic we are going to discuss. Okay, sir. I will say the two options. What is the first option, sir? We have recorded the opening stock and we have recorded the purchases in the trial balance. Already we have recorded what, ma? Already we have recorded the opening stock. Already we have recorded the purchases in the trial balance. Now we can record the closing stock in the trial balance, or we cannot record the closing stock in the trial balance. What is the first option, ma? First option is I am saying that already we have recorded the opening stock in the trial balance. Already we have recorded the purchases in the trial balance. Once again, we need to record the closing stock. We no need to record the closing stock in the trial balance. Needa, no needa? Needa, no needa? Okay. There is a second option. We have not recorded the opening stock. We have not recorded the purchases. But we have recorded the adjusted purchases. We have recorded what, ma? Adjusted purchases. Now, we need to record the closing stock. No need to record the closing stock. We need to record the closing stock. How, sir? This is the point we have to discuss. Okay, now the most important point. Sir, here I will take an example. What is the first option I have told you? The first option is nothing but we already recorded. What are the points we have recorded already? Opening stock in the trial balance we have recorded or we have not recorded? We have recorded. And again, what we have recorded, ma? Purchases. And again, we have recorded purchases in the trial balance. In this case, we no need to record the closing stock. In this stage, what ma? This one recorded and this one also recorded. In this stage, no need to record what ma? No need to record closing stock in trial balance. Why, sir? Because we are having the opening. What is the meaning of opening stock? Previous year closing stock will be the current year opening stock. Like that, we are having the 10 units of opening stock. How many units ma? 10 units. Okay na? And again we have purchased 90 units of purchases. 90 units what ma? Purchases. 10 units is called as opening stock. Okay na? 90 units is called as purchases. Okay na? In that we have sold. In this 100 units. Totally how much ma? 100 units. We have sold how much, sir? We have sold 80 units. We have sold what ma? 80 units. What is the closing stock? 20 units. What is the closing stock ma? Totally we are having how much? 100 units. In that 100 units, we are having how many units? We have sold how many units ma? 80 units. That means we are having the closing stock of 20 units. What is the meaning of closing stock? Unsold purchases or unsold opening stock is called as a closing stock. What is the meaning of this 20 units? Closing stock. Okay na? This 20 units is taken from where? These 20 units we have taken from where? We have taken from the opening stock on purchase itself or where? Or outside? We have taken from purchase and opening stock itself. That means we have recorded the opening stock and we have recorded the purchase, means we have indirectly recorded the closing stock. That's why we no need to record the closing stock once again in our books in the trial balance. In the trial balance. What I am saying, sir? Sir, we have taken the opening stock and we have taken the purchase, means we have indirectly taken the closing stock also. Okay na? So here how many units of closing stock ma here? The closing stock is 20 units. Okay na? Where we get this closing stock? This 20 units is came from 100 units or outside? 100 units itself. Okay na? Already we have recorded the 100 units we have not recorded. Already we have recorded 100 units. Once again need to record 20 units. No need to record 20 units. No need to record the 20 units. So this is the concept. This is the concept. What is the next one, sir? This is option 1. This is which option ma? Option number 1. What is the option number 1? If we have recorded the opening stock and we have recorded the purchase, means we no need to record the closing stock once again in the trial balance. Why, sir? Because if we consider the opening stock and if we consider the purchase, means we have indirectly considering the closing stock once again. Okay na? Is there any doubt? Sanjeevi? Okay. What is the option number 2, sir? Option number 2 means we are not recorded the opening stock. We have recorded we have not recorded. We have not recorded the opening stock and we have not recorded the purchases. But we have recorded what, sir? Adjusted purchases. But we have recorded which purchases ma? Adjusted. What is the meaning of adjusted purchase, sir? Opening stock next one what ma? Plus purchases minus closing stock. What is the adjusted purchase formula? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock is called as a adjusted purchase formula. Now say, we have recorded only adjusted purchase. We have recorded only adjusted purchase. Whether we have recorded a closing stock, we have not recorded a closing stock. We have not recorded the closing stock. Why, sir? In a formula, we have reduced, we have added, we have reduced. That means we have recorded only opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. That means in this point of time, at this point of time, we have to record what ma? Closing stock in the trial balance. Did you get the point or not? Okay, now what is the first option ma? We have recorded the opening stock and we recorded the purchases. Then at that point of time, we no need to record the closing stock because the closing stock is already included in the either in the opening stock. It may be included in the opening stock or it may be included in the purchases. Then what is the second option ma? We have recorded only the adjusted purchase. What is the meaning of adjusted purchase? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. So in that formula, closing stock is deducted or added? Deducted. That means we have recorded the closing stock or we have not recorded? We have not recorded. So that we have to record the closing stock in the trial balance. So this is the overall concept when come to the closing stock point of view. So now you have to read the concept book. Where is it? See Mano. So what he is saying, it opening stock and purchase record in the trial balance statement, then the closing stock will not be recorded or will be recorded? Will not be recorded. What is the reason? The value of the closing stock which either included in the purchase or opening stock. Okay na? Either included in the purchase or opening stock. So that we no need to record once again closing stock in the trial balance. Next one ma. If the adjusted purchase recorded in the trial balance statement, what is recorded ma? Only adjusted purchase is recorded. What is the adjusted purchase formula? Adjusted purchase can be calculated on the basis of opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Okay na? Then the closing stock which then closing stock which will be recorded. The reason is what ma? The value of adjusted purchases is excluding the closing stock. So this is so. The total value of the purchase price of the goods utilized or sold during the year. What is the meaning of adjusted purchase ma? The total value of purchase price of goods utilized or sold. Okay na? Okay na? What are the sold units? That cost price is called as a adjusted purchase. Otherwise, did you get the point or not? Okay, now we have sold 80 units, yes or no? In before example, how many units we have sold? We have sold 80 units. That 80 units cost is called as adjusted purchase. Okay, now that 80 units selling price, if you want, means nothing but sales. Okay, now guys, what I am saying is, how many units we have sold ma here? We have sold the 80 units. Okay, now this 80 units cost is called as adjusted purchase. Cost is called as what ma? Adjusted purchase. Did 80 unit selling price means sales. Selling price means sales. Cost means adjusted purchase. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. So this is how we have completed the which adjustment ma? Closing stock adjustment. Now at which point of time we have to record the closing stock in the trial balance? We have to record. If we recorded the adjusted purchase. Okay, now at which point of time we should not record the closing stock in the trial balance? Opening stock and purchase are recorded, means we should not record the closing stock in the trial balance. What is the next adjustment, sir? Provision discussion. I will give you next ma. Next, I am going to discuss about the cost of goods sold. As of now, provision means a credit balance. Please remember, provision means what ma? Credit balance. Please remember like that. I will give the clarity about the provision for bad debts, that concept. Okay na? Provision for bad debts. At that time, I will discuss about what is the meaning of provision, what is the meaning of reserve. Okay na? So now, if I start that discussion, it will take so much time. Okay na guys? Okay, just I am going to discuss about what ma? Cost of goods sold. As of now, what is the meaning of provision ma? Provision means a credit balance should be recorded in the credit side of the trial balance. That's all. Okay, next one, cost of goods sold. What is the meaning of cost of goods sold, sir? Cost incurred to make the sale is called as a sale of a good is called as a cost of goods sold. What is the meaning of cost of goods sold ma? Cost incurred for making a sale of particular product is called as a cost of goods sold. Cost price of a goods sold during the year. How to calculate ma? Opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenditure minus closing stock. Previously we have discussed certain formula called as what ma? Adjusted purchase. What is the meaning of adjusted purchase? Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. But here we are using the word called as direct expenses. What is the meaning of direct expenses, sir? First of all, you have to get clarity about the cost of goods sold. What is the meaning of cost of goods sold, sir? Cost incurred to sale of particular product is called as a cost of goods sold. Okay, now previously also you said that word, sir, cost cost of a goods sold only, but there we have not added the direct material. Okay, now why we have not added there, sir? Here only we are adding means we'll get a clear clarity. What is the meaning of direct expenses, sir? Means direct expenses means any expenditure incurred. Okay, now direct expenses means any expenses incurred for bringing the good into the current location or condition. Bringing the good is the main key point. Bringing the good. What is the meaning of direct expenditure, ma? Direct expenses means any expenditure incurred for bringing the good into the current location or condition. Okay, na, sir? So, what are the examples, sir? Carriage inward. What is the meaning of that one? Carriage inward. Carriage inward means through a public made transportation, if any expenses incurred. Public made transportation means bus, train, like that. Cottage inward means previously there will be a bullock cars like that, na. Okay, na. The bullock cars, those items is called as what, ma? Cottage inward. Expenditure incurred from public made of transportation to the premises of good on. Next one, what, ma? Freight. Freight means through rail or roadways. Octroi means air transportation. Marine insurance or dock charges, clearing charges means sea. Wages means amount paid to the workers for bringing the goods. Cottage means shorter distance. Cottage means what, ma? Shorter distance. Carriage means long distance. Okay, na? In normal words. Cottage means shorter distance. Carriage means long distance. So what is the meaning of this one? Direct expenditure means what, ma? Expenditure incurred from bringing the good into the current location or condition. Sir, at the time of making the purchases, okay, na? We have made the purchase in Calcutta. Imagine we have made the purchase in Calcutta. Okay, na? This camera we have bought from Calcutta. Okay, na? So directly by way of flying we will go to the Calcutta, na? Or by way of traveling bus or train we will go to the Calcutta, na? Flying only we will go to the Calcutta, na? Directly from here to there. No. There may be a mean of transport. Okay, na? Either may be airways, waterways or roadways. Okay, na? For example, we have gone through the air. That means what, ma? Flight. We have incurred the 10,000 expenditure. The 10,000 expenditure should be considered or should not be considered? Should be considered. So that only in the formula we have inputted what, ma? Direct expenses. Direct expenses means bringing the good into the current location. Okay, na? Not only the purchases cost, not only the opening cost, we have to add what, ma? Direct expenditure. But we should reduce which cost? Closing cost. Closing stock. Okay, now because we have sold that goods, we have not sold. We have not sold. So that we are adding the opening stock and we are adding the purchases and we are adding the direct expenses also, because that is the main expenditure. Okay, now without that expenditure we cannot bring the good from there to our premises. From there to what, ma? Our premises. We may use what, ma? If we will use the roadways means that one is called as a freight. If you use the roadways means what, ma? Freight. Roadways are railways. If we use the sea, waterways means what, ma? Octroi. Just a second. If you use the roadways and railways means what, ma? Freight. If you use the airways means octroi. If you use the waterways means marine. Okay, na? So shorter distance means cottage. Longer distance means carriage. Okay, na? What is the wages? For sometimes in order to reach the product, okay, na, we should pay to the wages for the labor also. Otherwise what, ma? We cannot bring that asset into the current location. For example, good. Okay, na? We are having the shop called as missionary shop. We will sell only the missionaries. From there to here, we have bring that particular product by way of train. Okay, na? By way of train we have bring. But railway station to here. Okay, now what the charges we will incur? We have incurred the wages. Okay, now for the lifting of that particular machinery we need a labor. For that labor we have given what, ma? Wages. That wages should also be included, should not be included? Should be included. Though that kind of expenditure is called as a direct expenses. That means the expenditure incurred up to the factory gate. Up to the factory gate is called as a direct expenditure. So this expenditure should also be considered, so that they have included in the cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold means what ma? Cost incurred to sell a particular product is called as a cost of goods sold. So opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenditure minus closing. So in the same definition, if you replace the good with the asset, that expenditure is called as a capital expenditure. That expenditure is called as what ma? Capital expenditure. Will be discussed in capital and revenue transactions. The same definition only, but we are replacing the in the place of goods, we are putting the word called as asset. Okay, asset means fixed asset. Asset means what ma? Fixed. The definition will be the definition is suitable for the capital expenditure. What is the accounting treatment, sir? It is recognized in which side? Debit side of the trial balance statement. What is the meaning of this one? Cost of goods sold will be recorded in which side? Debit side or credit side? Debit side. Okay, na? On trial balance statement, because it is a cost, it is an income, it is a cost, nothing but expenditure. Expenditure means debit balance, so that we have to record on the debit side. That's all. Okay, na? So totally we have discussed 3 adjustments. What are the 3 adjustments, ma? First one, closing stock. Closing stock should be recorded in trial balance when we have recorded the adjusted purchase. Should not be recorded when we have recorded the opening stock and purchase. Provisions is always having the credit balance. For the provision and reserve, we'll have which balance? Credit balance. What is the meaning of provision? What is the meaning of reserve? I will discuss separate topic. Okay, nama. And next, we have discussed about the cost of goods sold. Where we need to record the cost of goods sold? We have to record on the debit side. What is the meaning of cost of goods sold? Opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenditure minus closing stock. What is the meaning of direct expenditure? Expenses incurred to bringing the good into the present location or condition. What are the examples? Okay, na? If you bring the good in the form of railways or roadways, then it is called as what ma? Freight. If you bring the good by way of air is called as a octroi. If you bring the good by way of sea is called as a marine insurance. So shorter distance means cottage, longer distance means carriage. That's all. Okay, now sometimes we will pay the wages to the labor also. That wages should also be included in here in the direct expenditure. Finally, we have to record on the debit side of the trial balance. What ma? Cost of goods sold. With this, we can do the sums relating to the trial balance. Okay, na ma? Let us start the doing of sums. Okay, na guys. So which method we have to follow? Balance method. Balancing method, nothing but net method. Next, which format? That means your wish. You can follow the statement format or we can follow the T-shaped format. But we should not put the words called as to or by, because this is not a statement. So please remember those points. So please open the workbook. So after discussion of this trial balance, we can do the one full-fledged sum. What is the meaning of full-fledged sums are? For that, we are going to write the journal entries, ledgers and trial balance. If you get this clear picture, then we will start what ma? Subsidiary books. After that, from the subsidiary books, how to post to the ledgers, ledger to trial balance. So this is the discussion. If you know this all the topics, then only we have known about the basics of accounts. Otherwise, we don't know anything. Okay. What is the page number? Okay, we are going to solve the first question. First I will discuss what is the balance where we need to record. Okay, na guys? Normal balances. What is the illustration number 1? From the following ledger account balances, prepare the trial balance of Mr. Sen for the year ended 31st March 2022. Capital means what ma? Okay na? For debit balance, I will use one color. For the credit balance, I will use one color. Okay na? For debit balance, I will use this color. Okay, I will show you. Red. Okay, I will use this color. Whether it is appearing or not. Yes. For credit balance, no, I will use this color. For credit, I will use what is that color? For debit, I will use the yellow color. For credit, I will use the biscuit color, ash color. Ash color, okay. Okay, capital means what? Liability. Which balance? Credit balance. Okay. Next is sales. Income. Which balance? Credit balance. Adjusted purchase. Where we need to record adjusted purchase? Debit side. Which side? Debit side. Opening stock should be recorded in debit side. Purchase should be recorded in debit side. But we are substituting the closing stock. Ultimately, we will record in which side? Debit side. So that means we need to change the color. Adjusted purchase will be recorded in the debit side. Current account CR they have given. That means which balance? Credit balance. Petty cash. Debit balance. So cash will have the which balance? Debit balance. Next, sales ledger balance. Sales ledger means what is the type of account? Sales ledger account is different. Sales account is different. If you see here, already they have given the sales of rupees how much? They have given the sale of rupees how much? 10 lakhs. So again they have given the sales ledger balance. And again they have given the purchase ledger balance. What is the meaning of these two? Sales ledger means, okay na, credit sale. That means what debtor. Sales ledger means what debtor balance. Purchase ledger means what creditor balance. Sales ledger means debtor balance. Purchase ledger means creditor balance. Now say sales ledger debtor which balance? Debit balance. Okay na guys? Did you get the point or not? Sales ledger means debtor. Purchase ledger means creditor. Next, purchase ledger means what credit balance. Next is salaries. Debit balance. Carriage inward. Debit balance. Next, carriage outward. Debit balance only. We're going to carriage inward also debit balance. Carriage outward also debit balance. Inward means at the time of purchase. Outward means at the time of sale. But both are expenditures or incomes. Both are expenditures. Next, discount allowed. Debit balance. Building. Debit balance. Outstanding expenses. Credit balance because it is a liability. Next one, prepaid insurance. Asset or liability? Asset. Asset means debit balance. Depreciation. Debit balance. Cash at bank. Debit balance. Loan CR. Credit balance. Loan CR means which balance Credit balance. Profit and loss of CR. Credit balance. Bad debts recovered. Credit balance. Income or expenditure? Income. Stock at 31st March 2022. 31st March 2022 means closing. Will be considered or will not be considered? Will be considered should be recorded in which side? Debit side. Because they have given the word called as what adjusted purchase, purchase and opening stock. Adjusted purchase. So that we should record which account, which stock also? Closing stock. Next one, interest received. Credit balance, income, we have to record on the credit side. Accrued interest. Sir, interest received and accrued interest. Receivable. What is the meaning of accrued, sir? Interest receivable. Asset or liability? Asset. Will be recorded in debit side. Next one, investment. Debit balance. Provisions. Provisions which balance? Credit balance. Reserves also credit balance. Sorry, credit balance. I have forgot to change the color. credit balance and credit balance. Accrued interest. Accrued interest is interest on ఇది accrued interest. Okay guys, so debit balance means we should record on the debit side, credit balance means we should record on the credit side. How they have put the heading? Trial balance as on 31st March 2022. Heads of accounts. This side we have recorded the debit side. This side we have recorded the credit side. Even they have recorded on the debit side, credit side means whether this is an account or not. This is not an account. Just we have to put the account names. We have to put what ma? Just the accounts names. So we have seen what we have seen ma. Adjusted purchase which balance? Debit balance. So that they have recorded in debit side. Petty cash. Sales ledger balance means debtor. Sales ledger balance means what ma? Debtor. Next one salaries. Carriage inward. Where is the carriage outward? Next discount allowed, billing, prepaid insurance, depreciation, cash at bank, stock, accrued interest, investments. Capital, sales, current account, purchase ledger means what ma? Creditor. Next, outstanding expenses, loans, P&L account profit, bad debts recovered, interest received, provisions on resource. Okay na? So, we need to write one note point. What is the note point? Here we have recorded the adjusted purchase. So we can record the closing stock in the P&L account. So that one is the note point. What is the note point ma? Closing stock is appearing in the trial balance since the adjusted purchase is equal to what ma? Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. It may be noted that if any adjusted purchase is considered that in the matching concept is affected, hence to satisfy the matching concept, closing stock also consider in the trial balance. Nothing but we have discussed all the note point in the previously itself. Okay na? So we have to prepare in our notebook sir. Nothing no need. Why sir? Is there any typical point? No. Please remember, that's all. Okay na? Here they have given the adjusted purchase so that we have recorded the closing stock. On which side we need to record the closing stock? On debit side or credit side? On debit side itself. Because the closing stock is an asset. Opening stock is also asset. Which balance? Debit balance. Okay guys. Next, what is the question number 2? Is there any trickiest point in the question number 2? So please try on your own. Once read on your own and try this one. I will give 5 minutes. Please read the question and try on your own. Completed? Okay. What is the question they have asked, ma? If you are a senior accountant of the concern, has been given responsibility to check the same and redraft the if it is required. So they are giving us for the auditing purpose. Okay, na? They already prepared the trial balance, but we are a senior accountant to the particular concern. We have to check whether it is a right or wrong. Cost of goods sold. What is the meaning of this one? Cost incurred to sell a product is cost of goods sold. Where we need to record? We need to record on a debit side. Yes, they have recorded on the debit side. Right or wrong, ma? This is a right one. Next one, closing stock. Where we need to record the closing stock? Debit side, but they have recorded on the credit side. So this should be recorded in which side? Debit side. Next, sundry debtors. Should be recorded on the debit side or credit side? Debit side. Okay, na? Because debtor means an asset. Debit balance we have to record on the debit side. Next, creditors. Right. Okay, na? Next one, fixed asset. Right one. Next one. Next one, opening stock. Where we need to record the opening stock? Debit side. Okay, recorded. Expenses should be recorded in which side, ma? Debit side. Next, sale should be recorded on the credit side. Capital, credit side. So like that we need to record it. Okay, na? But they have not given what, ma? Purchases. If they given the purchases means we should record the closing stock or we should not record the closing stock. We should not record the closing stock in the case if they have given the purchases means, but they have given only the opening stock. That means all the purchases is called as closing stock. We have to imagine like that. Okay, na? If they have recorded both the opening stock and purchases, then only we will not record the closing stock. Otherwise, we will record the closing stock. Here they have given the opening stock and they have given the closing stock, but they have not given the purchases. So that means how we need to treat all the purchases is called as a closing stock. Like that we need to treat. Did you get my point or not? If you do like this, we'll get the total. Okay, please do the debit total. 7,50,000, 1,20,000, 1,80,000, 1,50,000 plus 1,80,000. 60,000. Okay. Yes, but here there is a point, right? Please wait a minute. We have recorded the cost of goods sold. We have recorded what, ma? Cost of goods sold. So that we should not record the opening stock. We should not record the opening stock. What is the cost of goods sold formula? Opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenditure minus closing stock. We are considering the cost of goods sold means we have considered opening stock, we have considered purchases, we have considered the direct expenditure, but we have not considered the closing stock. So that again we should not record the opening stock in the trial balance. Otherwise we should record. Okay, what you are saying, sir? So in the previous trial balance they have given a formula. What is the formula, ma? What is it? This is the formula. Yes or no, ma? Opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenditure minus closing stock. Here opening stock is added or minus? Added. Opening stock added, purchase added, direct expenditure is added, minus closing stock. That means if we are going to record the cost of goods sold, COGS. What is the meaning of COGS, sir? Cost of goods sold in trial balance means we have recorded the opening stock and we have recorded the purchases. Next one, what, ma? We have recorded the direct expenditure, but we have not recorded which one? Closing stock. That means, so we no need to consider the opening stock once again in the trial balance. Okay, na? So that what is the amount we will get now? So we should not consider this 1,80,000. So what is the amount we will get, ma? 12,60,000. That means 7,50,000 plus 1,20,000 plus 1,80,000 plus 1,50,000. That's all. 60,000. Total how much? 12,60,000. Then what is the total credit? 90,000 plus 9 lakh plus 2,70,000. 12,60,000. Okay na? What is the important point ma here? We have to write the note point. What is the note point we have to write? We already considered the opening stock in the cost of goods sold itself, so that we no need to record opening stock once again in the trial balance. So we have to do question number 1 and question number 2 as a homework. Welcome to the next class. Okay na? Because only the small point, for that I am not recording the notes in the class itself. Okay na? You are having so many works or no works? Okay, then please note down and come to the next class. Okay, the final sum we have to complete. Please read, please go through once question number 3. I will explain you. Completed? Okay. So what is the question number 3 ma? The total of debit side of a trial balance of larger boot and shoe repairing firm as on 31st 12 2021 is 1,66,590. What is the debit side total? 1,66,590. And what is the credit side total ma? 42,470. After several checkings and recheckings, the mistakes are discovered. Okay na? So opening stock. Sir, here read the headings. item of the account, correct figure, what ma? Correct figure as it is would be. Then the figure is appearing in the trial balance. So that where we have started ma? We have started with the balances. What are the balances ma? The total as per trial balance, we are getting a balance of rupees how much? Debit balance of total is equal to 1,66,590 and credit total is equal to 42,470. So if we check the opening stock, where we have to record? We have to record on the debit side or credit side? We have to record on the debit side. How much amount we have recorded? We have recorded 14,800, but how much amount we need to record? 14,900. That means we need to record extra amount or we have recorded more amount? We need to record extra amount. How much extra amount? Which side? Debit side, we need to record the extra amount of rupees 100. How did we get ma? 14,900 minus 14,800. Next, repairs. Here the repairs outstanding or normal repairs? Outstanding repairs should be recorded on which side? Credit side, because it is a liability, so that we need to record on the credit side of the trial balance. But where we have recorded? Appearing in the debit side, appearing in the credit side? Appearing in the debit side. We have recorded how much amount? 61,780. So in the debit side, how much amount we need to substitute? We need to substitute 61,780. But in the credit side, how much amount we need to record? 61,780. We have to deduct in the debit side 61,780 and we have to record in the credit side 61,780. Next, rent and taxes. Debit balance or credit balance? Debit balance, we have to record on the debit side. But we have recorded how much amount? 2,400. But what is the actual amount? 2,160. That means we have recorded the more amount. We have recorded the more. What is the difference amount ma? 2,400 minus 2,160, that is equal to 240. So we have recorded the more means we have to subtract or we have to add. We have to subtract. On which side? Debit side. Because rent and taxes will be recorded on the debit side. So we need to substitute. Next one. Sundry creditors means asset or liability? Liability. We will have the debit balance, we will have the credit balance. We will have the credit balance. So we have to record on the credit side. How much amount we have recorded? 5,900. But how much amount we need to record? 6,070. That means we have recorded the lowest amount. What is the difference amount? 170 should be recorded on the credit side. So that we have added to the credit side. Next one. Sundry debtors means asset, debit balance or credit balance? Debit balance. Okay, now we have to record on the debit side or credit side? Debit side. What is the actual amount we have recorded? We have recorded 8,310. What is the actual amount need to be recorded? 8,060. What is the difference amount? 250. This 250 we need to substitute because we have recorded the more amount on the debit side. Then we will get the trial balance will be tallied or will not be tallied? Will be tallied. So this is the most interesting question. So we'll come to the next class. You have to solve question number 1, 2 and 3 regarding the trial balance. Okay, guys. So in the next tomorrow's section, we are going to see the full-fledged question. Okay, now we will take one question. For that question, we will pass the journal entries and we will take the ledgers and we will take the trial balance. So totally, how many methods we are having? 3 methods. Okay, now first one is called as what ma? Total method is also called as gross method. Next one what ma? Balance method is also called as net method. Next one combination of both. In a total method we will take the totals of debit total and credit total, that's all. In the balance method we will take the balances of whether it is a debit balance means we will record on the debit side of the trial balance. If it is a credit balance means we will record on the credit side of the trial balance. Next one what ma? What are the pro forma? T-shaped on the statement format. Next one, if the debit side is not equal to the credit side means we will take the suspense account. Suspense account is on the debit side means suspense account will have the debit balance. Credit side means we will have the credit balance. If it is on the debit side means we will record on the asset side of the balance sheet. If it is on the credit side means we will record on the liability side of the balance sheet. Okay. Next one, suspense account is called as a imaginary account. And next one, what we have discussed? Closing stock. Closing stock in the case of, if you record the opening stock on purchase, we no need to record the closing stock in the trial balance. If it is If we have recorded the adjusted purchase means we have to record the closing stock in the trial balance. On which side we need to record the closing stock? Debit side. Adjusted purchase will be recorded on the debit side. Opening stock will be recorded on the debit side. Purchase will be recorded on the debit side. Next, cost of goods sold. What is the meaning of cost of goods sold? Cost incurred to sell a particular product is called as a cost of goods sold. Opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenditure minus closing stock. Cost of goods sold should be recorded on which side? Debit side. If you record the cost of goods sold means we no need to record the opening stock, we no need to record purchase, we no need to record the direct expenditure, but we need to record the closing stock. If you record the adjusted purchase means no need to record the opening stock, no need to record the purchase, but we have to record the closing stock. Please remember that one. Okay, now next. Cost of goods sold will be recorded on debit side or credit side? On the debit side. Provisions and reserves should be recorded on the liability. They are categorized as contra asset account. What is the meaning of that account? Contra. Contra means opposite. Contra means what, sir? Opposite. Opposite to the asset means liability. Liability will have which balance? Credit balance. So that we have to record on the credit side. I will give the clear explanation about what is the meaning of reserve on next class. Provision means provision need to be created for the known liabilities and the known losses. Reserve means what, ma? Unknown liabilities and unknown losses. Okay, na? Clearly we can discuss in the next class, no problem. Okay, na, ma? Is there any doubts? Okay, guys. So you have to solve question number 1, 2, and 3 while coming to the next class. Okay, guys. Thank you. Have a nice day.